Now my pleasure to welcome up to the bima, once again, the president of our congregation, Carole Stein.
My husband, David, and I, who is in Scottsdale, by the way. Thank you. David and I have a lot in common. For instance, we are both firstborns. As anyone else who is a firstborn knows, we're sometimes achievement-oriented, goal-oriented, and sometimes even bossy. That was noticeable on a camping trip last year. It was time to put up the tent. Excuse me. I had always been the one to put up the tent while he did other things, but this time he wanted to be involved. And it became clear very quickly that we had two different concepts of what it means to put up a tent. As we laid out the poles and the tarp, things became a little contentious. I wanted to put it up and go for a hike. He wanted to read the instructions. And the neighbors were probably saying, "Oh, brother, who is this next to us?" Of course, the tent was put up, but it took 3 times longer. This year, I decided to try something different. I said to David, "You're the boss, I'm the assistant." And it went off without a hitch. So I learned something again, that even a take-charge person like me, harmony comes from collaboration. What does this have to do with Mishkan? I've learned a lot in my first year as president. The board and the committees approach their work with intelligence and commitment, engaged in tough conversations, and moved Mishkan forward. Despite the weight of responsibility that I have felt, I am not alone. I am surrounded by smart, creative people engaged in harmonious collaboration, harmony, not acrimony. You see in the Galim article that I wrote that we've made significant progress hitting key indicators, gaining momentum. As you sit in this sanctuary, having bought tickets on our new website, in a sanctuary that's freshly painted, holding a maksor in your hand that's new, you feel perhaps the evidence of positive change. But this didn't happen because I said what and how will happen. This happened because people stepped up. This next year is going to be a year of transformation. Yes, we do hope to remodel the bathrooms. That's only 55 years overdue. However, the transformation will require brains as well as brawn. We grow in community. As we add membership, we have more capacity for social action, including the community partnerships we've begun with Westside Food Bank and Safe Place for Youth. In fact, we need a head of social action. If that's you, you might find fulfillment doing that. We're looking for leadership in other areas as well. If you have a talent in fundraising, grant writing, join us. We're also looking for people who love to do programming and events. As you hear, there's lots of room for even more people to roll up their sleeves and jump in. So what is the measure of success? Let me share a story by Rabbi Mitchell Chefetz. He tells of a mourner at a Shiva minyan who was asked, "How did your father make a difference in your life?" He says, "It was summer. I was 12 years old. I had just returned from Jewish summer camp. On the doorway of the kitchen, we kept a record of my height. I had measured myself just before leaving for camp. When I returned, and then I made a mark just above that the amount that I intended to grow during my time at camp. When I returned at the end of summer, I measured myself against the kitchen door and found myself a whole ½ inch below the mark I had set for myself. My father saw how disappointed I was. I told him I had failed. I hadn't grown enough. At first, he didn't say anything. He looked at the mark I had made. With his thumb, he smudged it out. He took a pencil and he marked my real growth. Then he spoke. "You've grown wonderfully well," he said. "Your only failure was that you made your mark too high." Those were his exact words. Now, every time I reach too high and fail, I adjust the mark. Then from that platform of success, I am able to reach still higher. Here at Mishkan, we have high aspirations. We may not attain them all, but we must engage. We must engage fiercely. We must engage collaboratively, and we must engage now. What we have found this year with so many new and returning members is that there is a big impact to imagination and results. For example, with Dr. Ginny Rosenfeld, so good at making newcomers feel welcome. Rachel Berger's sophisticated skills in laning Torah. Talia Barash, intensity about holiday programming. Elaine Haber's dedication to Jewish education for kids. Mark Nedlin's experience in investment management. Benny Rubenstein in engineering. Schiffer Raz, and Benny and this wall over here. Schiffer Raz in B'nai Mitzvah training. And it's not limited to new members, but we're closer to critical mass. New ideas and new solutions are coming from new people. It's not limited, as I said. New ideas are coming from current members. Just one example, a wonderful program called Shabbat at Home with Ann Steinberg and Michelle Holtzman, transforming the way we think about Shabbat and community. And new committees like the investment committee that we formed, chaired by Yoni Sassoon. It's exciting, but it's hard work. Rabbi Katzan has been a unifying and inspiring influence. His interpersonal warmth and rabbinical experience, his community orientation, his guitar, his sense of fun have been a blessing for us. Here's the message. We haven't come this far to only come this far. As David Brooks, New York Times columnist, said about character development, our job is to figure certain things out. What is it that needs repair? What tasks are lying around waiting to be performed? What is the intersection of my talents and the world's great need? Please ask yourself that question. Whether you are a member, a visitor, or a newcomer, your particular skills and your participation and the way you do things as only you can do them make the difference. You are part of the harmonious collaboration. You are invited to join this year of transformation. Mishkan depends on you. Shana Tova.